All right, so to start our class today, in order to access the myKW platform, it's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is go to mykw.kw.com or kw.onelogin.com. All right, either one works perfect. All right, so right now I'm on kw.onelogin.com, and all I'd have to do is put inside my username, all right, whatever your username might be, all right, and my password, all right, the username and password on here. Now, if you ever forget your username or password, there is a help option down here, or obviously there's a forgot password option too. All right, now just to give you a heads up, if you click on the forgot password option, that is actually going to take you directly over to where you can reset your password. All right, but it's going to send over to your KW.com email. All right, we're going to talk about the KW.com email a little bit later on. All right, so I'm going to sign in real quick. Here we go. All right, it should take you directly over to the KW intranet. All right, now sometimes it might show up with a bunch of different boxes. If it does pop up with a bunch of different boxes or a bunch of different apps that you can choose from, you want to look for the one that says Keller Williams Intranet. All right, and that'll help out tremendously to access everything. All right, now one thing, just to give you a heads up, you do have to have Adobe Flash installed on your web browser, just installed on your computer, in order to see all of your production on here. So let me allow that so y'all can see what this will look like. All right, so welcome to the homepage of the KW intranet. All right, so this is the myKW homepage that we're taking a look at right now. All right, so first thing first, at the top left up here, we happen to have our profile. All right, so we are going to show you some of the major items you'll want to make sure that you update on your profile. All right, and you do want to get it as close to 100% as possible. All right, this profile not only displays on KW.com when someone's searching for an agent, but it also displays for other KW agents to view as well. All right, so I usually suggest getting this profile as close to 100% as possible. All right, and the reason I say as close as possible is because there might be some items that are a necessity to get up to 100% that you might not want to fill out, and that's okay. All right, now you can also click on the reports option down here too to view additional reports 24/7. All right, so if you want to see additional kind of income reports, those are available for you as well to utilize. Now below that, we do also have the option where you can search for an agent. So say, for instance, you happen to have a brand new listing and you just helped your seller sell their home, and now they're moving out of state to somewhere that's outside of your state, obviously, or MLS. All right, you want to send this over to another KW agent. All right, you can actually search for additional KW agents under the Enter Agent Name option underneath Find an Agent. All right, so this way you can actually see all Keller Williams agents that are linked up under the KW platform. Now below this is also our production. Now this is just a small snapshot of the production. I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, it's a very, very small snapshot. Nothing too crazy to say the least. All right, now when looking at this though, you can actually get an overview of all your production trends. All right, so you can see how many contracts have been written versus how many contracts have been closed over the past 12 months. All right, so if you notice, we are currently in January. Today's January 9th, so January hasn't popped up quite yet. But at the end of the month, whenever January does close, it should display as well. All right, then you can also see your cap status. This is typically what everyone wants to see, and that's my theory as to why it's right smack dab in the middle of the screen. All right, so on here, it'll actually show you your GCI, all right, or gross commission income. All right, you can see how much you've paid back to the market center and then how much you have remaining as well, so you can see when you might cap, along with when your anniversary date is too. Now, in addition to that, you do have a couple of, very minor reports over here on the right-hand side, just a few ratios that you can take a look at of listings closed versus listings written, sales closed versus sales written, or listings closed versus contracts closed. Now, once again, this is just a very small, little sample size of all the reports that you have available. All right, you can either click on the reports option we saw at the top left next to the profile section, or view full report on here too to view all of your different reports immediately. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. All right, and then of course up here you can also search for different approved vendors as well, different KWRI approved vendors for 2018. All right, in case you're looking for a different vendor, maybe for signs, for business cards, for website development, all right, whatever it might be you're looking for. Now let's talk about what's in this middle right up here in the e-edge control panel, all right, because this is going to be a good portion of what we're actually going to take a look at today. All right, so just starting at the top left up here, we happen to have the My Leads section. Now these are all the new leads that'll actually come over from any of your websites, all right, whether it's your KW website, whether it's your profile, whether it's your app, all right, anytime someone tries to contact you and they create a new profile, all right, this is where that lead's going to go over to. All right, so anytime you ever see a lead inside the new lead section, you may want to get in touch with them as soon as possible, all right, just to give you a heads up. Now, those leads will also display under the My Contact section. All right, the My Contact section is basically just going to be a culmination of all of your contacts that you can utilize. Now, we are going to show you how to add a contact later today and even how to add groups as well. Now, whenever you're adding a contact, though, you could just click this plus sign up here, all right, and they'll actually allow you to add a new contact. All right, but when you are adding a contact, you need 3 items in order for it to add. All right, 1, you need a first name. 2, you need a last name. And 3, you need some type of contact, whether it's going to be an email, a property address, or a phone number. Now, the system will not allow you to have duplicate contacts. I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, you can't have duplicate contacts at this time. All right, so if you happen to have johnsmith@gmail.com, you would not be able to add him in again. All right, now up here at the top in the middle, we have the My Marketing section. Now, this is where you can actually find all of your marketing pieces, all of your marketing templates, all of your marketing campaigns. All right, so the 2 big items to take a look at, and that's why I clicked on the plus sign so we can see everything, is the Create Marketing Materials, all right, and Manage and Create Campaigns on here. All right, the Create Marketing Materials section will allow you to view all of your different marketing pieces that are available, and the Manage and Create Campaigns section will allow you to view all the different campaigns that are currently available too. Now, all these templates can be customized. Now, you can go through, you can customize how they look, you can customize what's sent out, you can customize when it's sent out, how it's sent out. All right, so there's a bunch of different customization options that you have available through these templates. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, so those are the 2 big items under My Marketing I always suggest taking a look at. All right, below that we have the My Email section, and this is actually going to be your eEdge email address. All right, so what I mean by the eEdge email is it's typically your @kwrealty.com email if you have the basic eEdge account, all right, or it might be your custom email if you have the pro account. All right, now with that being said on here, whenever you send out any type of email from the platform, all right, it'll automatically come from this email address. Now, we are going to show you later on how you can actually display a different email inside the piece that's being sent out, and how when someone replies back to a marketing email, it can go to a different email address altogether. All right, so just to give you a heads up on that one. But if anyone ever emails your eEdge email directly, it would go to your eEdge messages on here. Now, My Transactions up here is actually your .loop account. All right, so we don't talk about .loop in this class anymore, as we actually have 2 classes dedicated to .loop each month. All right, so we have a .loop 101 and .loop 201 class, obviously the basics, and a little bit more advanced class too. All right, so this is where if you want to actually start a listing or buyer transaction, or maybe you need to get contracts signed, is more than likely where you'd want to start. All right, so just make sure that your office is utilizing .loop, as I know some offices use different platforms. All right, but many offices do utilize this program. You should also have a red and black branding on here that'll actually give you the .loop premium account too. All right, so make sure that you are synced up properly on here. All right, and then right below that, we also happen to have My Action Plans. All right, now if you're like me and you'd like to know exactly what you need to do each day and you'd like to have different tasks, then this might be for you. All right, these are going to be different tasks of what you need to do for a new buyer, for a new seller, for a new open house, all right, or whatever you might dream of, because you can actually create your own action plans on here too. All right, so it's a great way to just kind of have a checklist of what you need to complete. All right, so that's just kind of a very brief nutshell overview of the eEdge control panel. Now, one more thing to show you guys is you have the My Market Center intranet. All right, the My Market Center intranet is your intranet for your office only. So if I was to click on this, this would take me to the Market Center intranet for Office 513. I was about to say 53. Office 513 up here. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. This is a great location where you can actually find additional documents that the office may have uploaded for you guys to use. All right, you can also find additional training calendars to utilize too. You can post out different open houses or just listed or questions as well. All right, so it's kind of like an internal Facebook group just on myKW for your office only. All right, so feel free to take a look at that. All right, now this black bar up here at the top, they have some fantastic items to take a look at, and I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. All right, obviously you can check out all these if you'd like to. All right, but under the education option, we have KW Connect. Now, KW Connect is a fantastic place to find training, webinars, podcasts, all right, and even documents 24/7. All right, so if you ever want to learn even more about the myKW platform, learn more about real estate, learn more about FSBOs, open houses, all right, whatever it might be, there's probably something on here that'll help you out. Whether it's from KWRI, so Keller Williams Realty International, the main corporate location, all right, whether it's from different MAPS coaches, or even from agents like yourself too. All right, so if you ever click on KW Connect, so I'm just going to click on it real quick to give you guys an idea as to what this looks like. All right, it's basically your own social media site just for Keller Williams agents. All right, so it's kind of like I like to think of it like a YouTube of KW. All right, because on here you can actually go through, you can search for different courses, videos, users, and as you can see, so much more. All right, but then in addition to that, you can also see different uploaded videos down here too. All right, and then at the very top, you can actually view different items about the memberships. All right, you can view different items about calendars on here too. All right, so maybe this is a particular calendar, for the office, obviously, but it'll also give you other KWRI events as well. All right, you can see different resources on here. The biggest one that I would probably take a look at would be the technology one, but obviously you can take a look at anything on here. All right, you can ask agents too. You can ask Kelly, who's going to be the new AI system that'll be launching soon for you guys to utilize. So you can ask questions on there, what you want answered. All right, you can view featured shows, or if you're looking for your CGI calculator, the Career Growth Initiative, all right, this might help out as well, as this is where you can access it. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on everything on here. All right, so I'm going to go back real quick. Hopefully I can skip back enough. I think it's going to keep taking me there. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to go back over to mykw.kw.com real quick. All right, so that was under the Education tab. All right, then under the Marketing tab, you also have the option of logos and graphics on here. So if you're ever looking for any type of logo or different type of graphic you might want to use on social media platforms or anything like that, this might help out. All right, the main thing that's going to be under this section is obviously logos. All right, so if you're looking for your office logo, if it's available, or just any other KW logo, you can actually find it on here to utilize. All right, then of course you also happen to have, you also happen to have Business Basics. Now, these are going to be very basic marketing material items. All right, so there's not going to be much on here, but one of the biggest thing that you can find under Business Basics that you won't be able to find under the My Marketing section, and this is why I like to highlight it, is letterhead. All right, a lot of people always ask, where can I find KW letterhead? And that can be found right here under Business Basics. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. Now, don't confuse this marketing section with the My Marketing section. As the My Marketing section is actually where you'd want to do all of your main marketing. Now, under the Technology tab on here, which is one of my favorite tabs, all right, then you can actually go through and find a bunch of different technology items. All right, the second option that I'm seeing down here is the KW Websites section. All right, so under KW Websites, this is where you can actually access your Place Your website. All right, now the Place Your website is the brand new site that is launched by KW. All right, you need two things for this to launch. One, you need an active KW.com email. And two, you need to have your MLS ID added to the white pages, typically by a staff member in the office. All right, so if I click on KW Websites, for instance, all right, if it pops up like this saying your KW agent website, and then it gives the spiel about the site, if it says your new website is ready, go to my website, then you can click on that to access the backend immediately and you're good to go. All right, so if you're ever looking to find the Place Your site, this is where you'll want to access it. Now, if it says your site is still being created, please be sure to contact your office to make sure that they've gone through and obviously updated, the back end of your MLS onto your white pages, so that way it'll launch typically 24 hours later. All right. Now, under Technology, we also happen to have the KWLS. This stands for the Keller Williams Listing System. All right, you want to make sure that whenever you have any listings, your listings are added over here as soon as possible. And the reason for that is because this is where it'll actually syndicate out to a bunch of different sites, including Zillow, Trulia, all right, and then I believe they say about 150 sites. So in theory, 148 additional ones. All right, so I'm going to click on that real quick. I'm going to click on it. There we go. I'm going to click on it a second time if it doesn't pop up. It opened up a new window for me, but this is what our KWLS will look like. And I always love using Lori's account on here. She's a good friend of mine and allows me to use her account because she's populated everything fantastic. Alright, so with that being said, on here you can actually see your listings at a glance, so you can basically view all of your listings from the KWLS. Over here on the right hand side, you can view how many listings that you have that are active, and if they're active, they're actively syndicating out to all those different sites, including Zillow and Trulia. Those are the two biggies. Alright, you can see which listings may have expired on here. Alright, you can see which listings may have sold, or in this case, she has one that's TNC. Alright, now one thing I always like to point out on here is if you happen to have this option at the bottom left that says single point of entry, make sure there's a check inside that box for List Hub enabled. Alright, by putting a check inside that box on List Hub enabled, that means that your listings will typically automatically come over from your MLS to the KWLS, typically 24 hours later as long as they're active. Alright, so instead of having to put it inside the MLS and then also having to manually put it inside the KWLS, you'll just put it inside the MLS and then it'll basically move right over for you so you don't have to worry about anything. So that's one of the best parts about this that I always like to let people know about. Alright, now of course if you don't have single point of entry on here, some offices do subscribe to something called single entry listing that's very similar. Alright, so see if your office happens to have that as well. Alright, and if you don't have a single point of entry or single entry listing, no worries. Alright, there's a create a listing option up here at the very top where you can create this listing immediately. Now, although you'd have to add it over to the MLS and then also to the KWLS as well, so you'd have to add it in two locations. Alright, the KWLS does not ask for as much information as the MLS does. It just asks for kind of the bare minimum, which is great, so you can actually get this created very quickly. Alright, it'll probably take you maybe 3 to 4 minutes at the most. Alright, so I always want to tell people to take a look at the KWLS. If your listings are not syndicating over to Zillow or Trulia, alright, this is the main culprit that you'll want to take a look at to make sure that your listings are active. Alright, so I'm going to X out of this again real quick. Now under technology, we also have the option to change our password. So if you want to change your password for the myKW platform, you're definitely more than welcome to on here. Alright, so I'm not going to go over that real quick, but if you do want to change your password will need to be between 8 to 20 characters with an uppercase, lowercase, and at least one number. So the example I always use is Keller123. Alright, so we have a capital K for obviously the name Keller for Gary Keller. Alright, we have 6 characters in the letters. Alright, so K-E-L-L-E-R. Then we have 1, 2, 3, so we obviously happen to have the uppercase K, the lowercase E-L-L-E-R, and then the numbers 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to write that out so you guys can see it on here visually. Alright, and that's 9 characters. So that fits our qualification of the 8 to 20 characters with an uppercase K, lowercase, E-L-L-E-R, and at least one number. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3. Alright, so just to give you a heads up, that's the qualifications you have to do in case you do want to change out your password on here. Alright, and obviously feel free to change it out whenever you'd like to. Alright, but then we also happen to have our KW email. Now, the KW email is actually a Google account, so it's basically a Gmail account. So for anyone watching the webinar today or watching the webinar later on the recorded version, if you've ever used Gmail before, your KW.com email is pretty much going to be very similar. I'm going to say very similar because there's only going to be minor items that might be different. Now, if I click on KW email on here, as you can see, KW Google Apps for Business email. Brand yourself as a KW agent by signing up for a KW.com email address. All right, we'll create an email account for you, which you can access through Gmail. All right, so you have to go to Gmail to sign into it. All right, and standard mail clients like Microsoft Outlook. Now, it says it takes 24 to 48 hours for it to actually be approved. Typically, it's approved instantaneously now, so that's the good part about it. All right. Now, one thing that I do want to note for you guys on this KW.com email, even if you already have your own personal email and you say, no, I want to keep that for my own branding, feel free to use the KW.com email on here because it does give you 30 gigabytes of online storage, which is double the amount that a normal Gmail account will give you. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, so with that being said, if you ever want to, feel free to click the sign up option over here at the top right. All right, and if you click on sign up, then you can actually view, all right, how you can sign up for a brand new account for the KW.com email, or if you already have one. right. So in this case, once I click on that, as you can see, you already have a primary email account. Your primary email address is blank@kw.com. All right, so right on here, please click link to edit your account information. So if yours pops up like that and it's all in red on here, all right, then we are all good to go and everything is set up properly. All right, so just to give you a heads up, if that's what yours looks like, then you're fantastic. You can actually go over to Gmail right now to sign in immediately. Now, if yours is not set up, then it would actually give you an option on this page where you can create your own KW.com email, typically based on your first and last name. All right, or it'll give you a link where you can actually create a custom one. All right, so feel free to go through and set that up if you'd like to. We usually talk about it in our 3-hour class, but since we're under time constraints, obviously, for the 1-hour class, I'm going to bypass that real quick. All right, but one thing to note, there is a link on here where it says Edit Email Accounts. All right, so under Edit Email Accounts on here, if we click on this, here we go. All right, then this is where you can actually view the back end of your KW.com email. All right, so in this case, once we actually look at that, you can actually set up new alias emails as well. All right, so in this case, right where it says we have no alias emails, you can set up to 5 alias emails that would automatically forward over to your primary email. You can actually see if you have this email set up to forward anywhere else. So she has Lori Godfrey at KW.com set to forward to this email address. All right, but the biggest thing that I want to let you guys know about is this is where you can change your password to the KW.com email. If you try to go to gmail.com to change that password, unfortunately, it's going to say to contact the administrator. All right, the administrator is Keller Williams Realty International, but they've been gracious enough to give you the option to change your password back here. All right, so I always want to give everyone, that option, let you know, hey, you can change your password immediately. All right, so with that being said on here, I'm going to go to the Gmail account real quick, just to show you how simple it is to sign in. So I'm going to sign in to myKW.com email. I'm going to put inside my password real quick. And voila. All right, it looks exactly like a Gmail account. All right, this will not pop up. This is a little extra feature I've paid to add on. All right, but on here, as you can see, it looks almost identical to a Gmail account, except you have 30 gigabytes of online storage. Now, for those that are going to utilize a lot of storage, like on my personal Gmail account, I've upgraded to 100 gigabytes. Unfortunately, on the KW.com one, you are not able to upgrade any higher than 30. All right, it is set in stone currently at 30. I just want to give you a heads up. All right, I wish you could upgrade even higher because it does help out tremendously, but just want to let you guys know about that. All right, but on here, you can compose an email, you can view your inbox, you can view your sent mail. All right, if you scroll down, you can see your bulk mail. All right, even further down, you can actually see spam, trash. All right, you can access your settings up here. All right, everything's going to look the exact same as a Gmail account. And the cool part about this Gmail account is whenever you're trying to add it over to your iPhone, to your Android, to your tablet, to Outlook, you'd want to go through the exact same steps to add this KW.com email that you would go through to add inside a Gmail account. All right, literally verbatim, it's going to be almost identical. All right, so I always like to give you guys an idea as to how you can access this KW.com email because I want to make sure you know to go to gmail.com directly. All right, now to get back over to our home page, because I do need to get back there to show you guys the profile real quick. All right, if you ever have this black bar up here at the very top, there are 3 ways that you can get back to the myKW homepage. Way number 1 is to click on the myKW logo if you ever see this. All right, that'll automatically take you back to the myKW homepage immediately. All right, it'll just take you away from this page. Now, if you want to stay on the page that you're currently on but go back to the home page, click the Home option. All right, if you click on that, it'll actually open a new tab or a new window, typically a tab. All right, and that way you can access the home page and keep the page you were currently on open too. All right, or tried and true method, just type inside mykw.kw.com. All right, either one will go back right away. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is actually click this profile link up here in the top left. All right, and once we click on that profile link, this will allow us to edit our profile immediately. All right, now whenever we click on that, you might get a little bit overwhelmed, if you're not already overwhelmed with some of the stuff right now. All right, but you might get a little bit overwhelmed because you're going to see a couple of these items on here. All right, so you're going to see myKW info for the white pages. Now for the white pages on here, that basically is going to be everything you'd want to display for other KW agents to view. All right, but that's not everything you'll need to get up to 100%. I just want to make sure you know that. All right, under the My Leads section, this is basically going to be everything for your app. All right, so in this case, anything that we set up on here is going to focus on our KW app. We're going to talk about that in a second. IDX management is a completely different ball game for everybody because it deals with WolfNet and your app URL. All right, so in this case, we're not going to really focus on this because every office is different, every board is different. All right, but the only thing we want to worry about is the other My Referrals section. This is everything you'll need in order to get up to 100%. All right, so I'm going to click on Other My Referrals real quick. All right. Now, once I click on that, once again, this is everything you'll need to get up to 100%. Now, I'm not going to go through all the items you'll need to get up to 100%. In our 3-hour overview class, we do go through all of that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, though, for you guys to make it easier to see. But I am going to highlight some of the bigger items I would highly suggest going through to update. All right, and the reason I suggest that is because this is what will help to make you stand out even further. All right, so with that being said on here, first thing first, specialties. All right, under the specialties section, this is where you can actually go through and, as you can see, list out everything that you wish to specialize in. All right, now I usually suggest putting a comma and a space between everything because at the end of the day, it's going to display in a straight line. Now, obviously, you can put inside as much as you wish to specialize, completely up to you. All right, and these are just a little bit of, some examples. Now, since we are going through this class relatively quickly, because obviously it's 3 hours in 1 hour, I'm going to send you guys over a link where you can actually view her profile even further in case you want to see some of the different items that I'm spotlighting for you today. Now, designations are obviously going to be real estate designations or different designations that you have as well. So if you happen to have a bachelor's, master's, PhD, maybe you have a certification, feel free to add that in. All right, you never know why someone's going to contact you, but make sure you put a comma and a space between everything, because once again, this will display in a straight line. All right, now city service areas is one of the biggest items that you can ever update. And if you are updating your profile, all right, so you're updating the white pages or this page that we're on right now, save this for the very end. All right, save it for the very end, because look what happens. If I click on Add Service Areas, it's going to take me directly over to that page. All right, so I just lost everything that I may have added in. All right, so I always tell people to save it for the very end, because otherwise you might lose everything you just set up. All right, now the cities that you add in here under City Service Areas, that's going to be another way for people to actually contact you. All right, so if they're searching by that city, that'll allow you to populate. Now, it usually takes about 24, 48 hours. They say usually 24 hours for you to actually start to populate. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. But the more cities that you have on there, the better chance that someone can actually find you on KW.com. All right, same with languages spoken if you happen to speak additional languages. Now, if you want to get up to 100% or if you want to be found in that search for agent section that I showed you in the very beginning on myKW, make sure you put inside a referral note on here. All right, this will basically let the other agents know what your referral percentage is or what you can do for them if they are referring over a client or a lead to you. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, so in this case, I usually suggest something easy like this. Yes, I accept referrals. Please contact for more information. All right, but once again, completely up to you. Now, your headshot's going to account for 10% of your profile. Make sure you add inside your headshot. If not, it will say camera shy. All right, and if you've ever seen a profile that doesn't have headshot, I can guarantee you've probably skipped over it to go to someone that does have a headshot, so that way you can feel like you've connected with them even further. All right, scrolling down, obviously you can add inside your address. Make sure it's your office address. All right, for business phone and mobile phone, that's part of 100%. I always suggest adding inside a direct line of contact to you directly. All right, because on your profile, it'll automatically have your office phone number on there, and we can't take that down. All right, so in this case, to combat that, I'd rather have 2 of the 3 numbers going to me directly so people can contact me. All right, even further down, we're going to have our bio. Now, this is where you can really introduce yourself. This is really where you can sell yourself as to how you can help out. All right, so on here, feel free to put in as much information as you'd like to. In fact, we even have a section on our website where you can actually view all the bio tips that we have set up. I'm going to add that over to our chat section again, scottleroymarketing.com/bio-tips. All right, so hopefully that'll help you to create a brand new bio. Now, we also have a template bio that we can send over to you that we've written for everyone in case a bio is not submitted when we set them up. It's typically 3 paragraphs, so it's something that you can kind of put inside for the time being that might help out. All right, now this display URL for KW.com is not part of 100%, but if you don't add this in, you will not display on KW.com when people are searching. So what I highly suggest doing is putting inside your first hyphen last name, as that's the best for SEO, having that hyphen in there. All right, or if you have a team name, feel free to put inside your team name with a hyphen between each word. All right, and of course, the final thing that I usually suggest taking a look at down here, one, make sure that your business email is set up on here for other agents to view. This will not display online, but it will display for other KW agents to view. Let me rephrase that. This will not display to the public online, but it will display for other KW agents to view online. And make sure you check this little box on here that says, yes, display profile on KW.com, so we make sure that's displaying properly. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know, whenever you click save on here, it might pop up with a red exclamation point, or just an exclamation point that's in, I think it's technically white with a red background. There it is. All right, and then it might say associate information successfully saved. If it says that, that means you are good to go. All right, don't let that freak you out because there's an exclamation point, because that usually means that something was incorrect. All right, so as much as I wish it was a green check mark, unfortunately it's always been an exclamation point. Now, if you see this exclamation point and it says something different, like there were errors on the page, feel free to scroll down because it'll actually have it highlighted in red as to where that error may have been. All right, so that is basically your profile in a nutshell. All right, so I'm going to hop back over to the myKW homepage real quick so we can chat about the app. All right, so from the myKW homepage, and just a heads up, I want to give everyone, a little bit of a heads up halfway through this class. It is being recorded. I know we're going very, very quickly because we have a lot to cover, but in case you guys do want to rewatch it so you can start and stop everything, or even view our 3-hour slower paced class, all right, that is an option as well too. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up. All right, now in order to access your KW app, you can always click the plus sign of My Marketing and go to Manage eAgency website. Now, I always tell people, think of eAgency, capital A, as in app. All right, and the reason I always say think of capital A as in app is because the eAgency website is not really a site that's used anymore. All right, but this is linked up with the app, so I always like to use those. I guess they're technically, mnemonic devices or something of that sort. All right, so once I click on Manage eAgency, all right, then it's going to pop up with the back end of our eAgency site for us. Now, there are 3 locations we'd want to focus on here. All right, 3 different locations, and once again, this is recorded. All right, location number 1 is 1.0 and 1.2. All right, so I clicked on those quickly because obviously we're going through the class pretty quickly, but it also highlights it. All right, so 1.0 for edit agent team info and 1.2 for edit contact info. Now, this is the information that'll automatically populate on your app when you download it. All right, the 3 big items that we want to focus on here. Now, obviously, in order to save everything, as you can see right below the save option, the red asterisk marks are required fields. All right, now you won't be able to actually update your designations. This will automatically update from that profile section we were just under. All right, but the agent display name is the name that'll display on your app. So when someone downloads your app, at the very bottom when they're linked up to you, it's going to have your name on it. Or it can have whatever you want displayed based on what you have in the agent display name. All right, so if you go by a team name like she does, feel free to put that inside here. All right, once again, you can't fill out designations, so you can skip that. That'll automatically populate over from where we were a second ago. All right, the email address is how people can actually email you or contact you. All right, so there is going to be a contact agent button on your app, and if they click on that, whenever they compose an email, it's then going to send off to this email address listed here. So make sure that is your business email address. Now, the address line 1, 2, city, state, zip, country, that's mainly for the eAgency site, so just put inside your office address. You'll be good to go. All right, but the phone number up here at the top right, make sure you put inside your direct line of contact. whether you're using your cell phone number for this, whether you're using a Google Voice, obviously a sideline number, maybe you're utilizing your office number, whatever it might be. Just put inside a direct line of contact where people can get in touch with you. Because whenever someone tries to call an agent, this is the number that would link up. Now, if you ever make any changes, say for instance you decide that you want to update your team name or update your email or your phone number, all changes, once you click save on here, all right, and as you can see it says green, save successful, all changes will take 72 hours to happen. All right, so it doesn't automatically update on the app. I want to make sure you guys know that. All right, so the second place we want to take a look at is under 2.0 for design your website and 2.4 for edit site info. Now, if we were actually setting up the e-agency site, obviously we'd go back here. All right, but in this case, this is just going to be used for two things, and that's it. All right, so we're going to scroll down, and ironically enough, we're actually just going to do one thing in order for it to populate twice. All right, so under 2.0 and then 2.4, we would scroll down, and we only want to focus on the hosting section. All right, now the hosting section on here, in all honesty, the only two main places we want to focus on in that case would be under Website to Display and Alternate Website. All right, so under Website to Display on here, we just want to click the Alternate option. All right, so the Alternate button to the left-hand side of Alternate, obviously. All right, and then once we check that, we can put inside whatever website URL we would like to, including the http:// or https://. All right, so in this case, completely up to you. All right, so you can actually add inside your Playster site, you can add inside your custom domain, you can add inside your e-edge site. All right, now not only will this domain then display over on your app under the My Agent section, there'll be a little link to go to your website, but also on your KW profile that we just showed you. All right, whenever you go to the KW profile on KW.com, there's a Visit My Website link, and when they click on that Visit My Website link under your profile, it would take them to that URL. All right, so instead of them going to the e-agency website that no one really uses, because obviously it's going away, you can direct them to any site you want to instead. Now, whenever you update that, remember, just click that Save option at the bottom. It should say Save Successful. Again, you're good to go. Now, the final and most crucial place is to click on 4.0 and 4.5. This is where you can view all of your app info. All right, if your app info does not display, click the drop down up here if it says None and select your Market Center name. Once you click on that, then it'll automatically display all of your app information instead. All right, so on here you'll be able to see your mobile URL that I'd highly suggest utilizing. All right, the reason I say I highly suggest utilizing it is because then you can put it on print materials, you can put it on email materials. All right, so that way whenever someone clicks on it, they can download your app immediately. All right, that's the biggest thing. All right, then of course you have your text code. All right, the text code is going to allow you to actually text your code. All right, the code that I'm seeing right here is for Lori, so don't jot down hers. All right, you're going to have your own specific one, but you can text your code to the number 87778. So that's 8, then 3 sevens in a row, the number 8. All right, so instead of a 10-digit phone number, you would actually send a message to a 5-digit phone number. All right, when you text your code and that's it as the message, all right, then this would automatically come back with a link for someone to download your app. All right, and it will send them that link instead. All right, or if you have someone that you're working with that's overzealous and already went to the app or Play Store to download their app, all right, then in this case, they could just go over to the My Agent section, add inside their code, and they'd be all good to go. All right, so just to give you a heads up on that. Now, you can also right-click on the QR code, and you can save this, all right, in case you actually want to go through and maybe save your QR code to utilize later on. All right, you definitely can. All right, and one of the biggest items on here is where you can actually update your mobile app service area. All right, so on here she has serving Greater Oregon. All right, and then if we actually come over even further, and Washington area. So at the bottom of her app, right below where it has her name, and in this case her team name, it would then say serving Greater Oregon and Washington area instead. All right, now if you leave this blank, it's going to automatically have your Market Center city on there. Now, I'm sure you all do business in your Market Center city, but you probably want to display as much as possible, so you don't make it seem like you're just focused on one area. All right, so feel free to update this. All right, and then once that's completed, just click the Save option, and remember, it'll take about 72 hours to update. All right, so the app is a fantastic tool to use because people can actually search for listings all over the United States, all right, not just in your MLS. All right, that's the good part about it. All right, now with that being said on here, the next thing I definitely want to take a look at back on the myKW homepage, I just click on the plus side of My Contacts and go into Add New Contact so I can show you how to add in a new contact immediately. Now, once again, remember from the beginning of our class, or the first part of our class, you can add as many contacts as you want to, up to 15,000. All right, you can have up to 15,000 contacts, but you must have a first name, last name, and some type of contact, whether it's an email, phone number, or property address. All right, now if you've never added yourself in as a contact, that's the first thing I suggest doing. Because at the end of the day, when you set up any email campaigns, or maybe you send out any type of email piece, I want you receiving those same pieces. Now, the reason I say that is I don't want a piece coming out and then all of a sudden you saying, oh, I didn't know anything went out. I wasn't even sure that this was going out today. I want you knowing exactly what goes out at each time, so whenever someone contacts back about that piece, you know exactly what they saw. That's not good, so I'm going to click on the Contacts option and go to, Create Contact. Why I was freaking out on that. There you go. All right, so in this case, if I haven't added myself, I'm going to add my first name, my last name, and then I usually suggest bare minimum adding inside your email address, because more than likely you're going to set up email campaigns, and I want to make sure you have this ready to go. Now, of course, you can add inside additional phone numbers. You can create your own categories if you want to make it a little bit easier to search through your contacts. All right, you can specify the type of contact that this person is, whether it's a buyer, seller, buyer/seller, agent, renter, investor, vendor, personal contact, or other. You can even add inside a subtype, which is going to be very similar to the category section, where you can kind of just categorize them however you'd like. All right, so that way it'll make it easier for searching purposes. So maybe a subtype might be that this was a buyer that I found on Realtor.com, so I could put Realtor.com on here. All right, anytime I ever find someone else on Realtor.com, I could add that as a subtype. All right, you can also change the status on here. All right, whether you want to have them as a lead, hot, warm, cold, retry, pending, or sold. Now, one thing I may highly suggest, whenever you decide however you want these statuses to be, or whatever you want them to be, if you think that a lead is someone that's going to purchase within the next 3 months, purchase or sell that is, and hot, I guess is the next one, is someone that's going to purchase or sell within the next 6 months, warm is the next year, so on and so forth, remember that. All right, because the next time that you add someone in, that say for instance this person's a lead, next time I find someone that said, hey, I'm looking to actually sell my home, this month, you probably want to add them in as a lead so that way you can categorize everything. All right, so I want to make sure that you have everything categorized properly, because when we get to the email campaign section, having those contacts in the proper status is going to help out tremendously. Now, obviously, you can add inside nickname, gender, company, or job title. You can even add inside a birthday or purchase anniversary. Now, there are birthday and purchase anniversary campaigns you can utilize, but only for contacts that have this set up. Now, for the birthday, if you notice, you do not need the year on here. All right, you only need the month and the date. All right, so with that being said, you can actually just find their birthday for the current year, whether it's 2018 or you can even go back to 2017 if it might be closer to access that. All right, my birthday was in December, so I'd probably go back to 2017 to add that in. All right, now for the purchase anniversary, you do need the exact year on here. All right, so if someone has purchased a home, not sold a home, but purchased a home and you help them, feel free to put inside their purchase anniversary. All right, these campaigns will actually send out custom pieces, all right, once per year for about 4 years straight, either wishing them happy birthday or congratulations on your home purchase. Now below that, for each contact, you can also add inside notes. All right, so in case you want to just jot down specific notes on this contact, you definitely can. This will definitely come in handy if you ever happen to call them, or maybe you're trying to lead generate from when they've contacted you. You can actually jot down a note, like maybe, hey, I called them today, scheduled them to show this open house that I'm holding on Saturday. All right, so you can add that in, because then it'll actually give you a time and date stamp as to when that was added in on here under the notes section. Now you can also add inside one address, all right, whenever you're first setting up the contact. All right, once that contact has been set up, though, then you can actually add inside additional addresses too. So I just want to give you a heads up. You can add inside one right now and then additional ones later on as well. All right, then below that, you can add inside secondary contacts. So maybe this needs to be linked up with their significant other, their wife, husband, all right, family member, friend, coworker, all right, whoever you need to link them up with. Now, there is a section for email and phone on here, but if you want that other person to also receive emails from you, they would have to have their own contact. So I want to make sure you guys know that. This is purely just for you to know, oh, hey, Scott Leroy is linked up with, his wife, Casey. So if I'm calling Scott, I can say, oh, by the way, how is Casey? All right, or whatever it might be in this case. All right, there's also an information activity section where you can see the time frame on here. All right, once again, there is a drop-down option. All right, you can put inside where they might be looking in or what their max budget is too, just for your information. Now, you can send out a welcome email to contacts. I usually suggest against it, though. And the reason I suggest against sending out a welcome email is that I'm not against sending welcome emails. I just wouldn't send this one in particular. All right, and the reason I wouldn't send this is because once we click on this, it's going to give us a little bit of template as to what this will look like. And you can actually change the template to show something different if you want to. All right, but it's going to give them a password to utilize on your eEdge website. All right. Now, most of you guys will probably start utilizing your Playster site, so I don't want to confuse your contact by giving them a password and then them contacting you and saying, hey, I tried this password on the site and it's not working. All right, so that's the reason I usually suggest avoiding the welcome emails, because it's automatically going to send each time a password for the eEdge website and not your new KW Playster site. All right, because that's obviously the brand new site with the other ones being phased out in the near future. Now, if you already have groups set up, fantastic. You can automatically click on the groups option. You can add these contacts over to this contact over to any group or groups you would prefer. All right, or you can just click that save option at the bottom left to save everything immediately. Now, I did this on purpose. I already have Scott Leroy under Scott at scottleroymarketing.com as a contact. I always like to show this because I want to make sure you guys know you can't have exact duplicates. All right, so in this case, it says there were errors with the following fields. Your contact, Scott Leroy, and it has it underlined and basically hyperlinked where we can access that. Already has this email address. All right, so once again, I can have multiple Scott Leroys. I just can't have multiple contacts that have Scott at scottleroymarketing.com. All right, so I always like to show that. Now, up here at the top, we also happen to have our contact section. Now, if you ever click on the contact section, you'll get all these different drop-downs that you can take a look at. Now, we obviously just went through the Create Contact option, but now I want to take a look at the Manage Group section. Because grouping your contacts is one of the best ways to keep everything neat and organized. All right, so just to give you a heads up, one of the best ways to keep it neat and organized. All right, so once I click on Manage Group on here, here we go. All right, so as you can see, you can add inside any group that you want to. Now, I actually just found out, and this was news to me until a couple weeks ago, you can actually have, and I kid you not, it's a lot of groups, you can have 1,000 groups. All right, you can have up to 1,000 groups. All right, so in this case, I would highly suggest going through and obviously adding inside as many groups as you want to, because that'll help out tremendously. All right, so you can have 1,000 groups, which is a ridiculous amount of groups at the end of the day. All right, so with that being said, all you have to do to add inside a group is type inside whatever you want to label that group. So maybe I wanted to type inside SLM contacts. All right, and then click the save option. It will automatically add them so you can start to utilize it even further. Now, once you have the groups, then obviously it would be up to you to go through and actually add those groups, add those contacts to the group. All right, but at the end of the day, having multiple groups is going to make your life so much simpler. It's going to make it so much simpler. Now, a couple different groups I would highly suggest starting off with. 12 direct, all right, 8x8 buyer, 8x8 seller, and 33 touch. All right, so I'd highly suggest starting off with those just to give you a heads up. All right. So just to give you a heads up, the next thing I'd show you is once you click on the contacts option, we've obviously gone through how to create a contact. I showed you where you can actually add groups to start. All right, you can also view recently active contacts over on your email, or sorry, not your email, your eEdge account. You can import and export contacts if you want to bulk import contacts from a CSV file, or if you just want to export contacts as well from your database, you can do that at any time. All right, that's the biggest question we always get is, can we go through and export our contacts anytime? And the answer is yes. All right, but I'm going to click on the All Contacts option so I can view all of our contacts immediately. I know we're going to go a little bit over, so I apologize about that. I'm trying to rush through everything. All right, so on here we can actually view all of our contacts, and this is what our database is going to look like. So we can view their name, we can view if anything is currently due for them, we can view if they have an email or a phone number on file, we can see if we've added them over to groups, and we can actually click on that to see what groups they're added on. All right, in addition to that, we can also see if they're on any marketing. All right, if they were on our eEdge site looking at any properties, so we can see a price range. All right, we can actually see if they have any listing searches set up. So in this case, whenever a new listing comes to the market under the criteria they're looking for, it would automatically send them out an email. All right, same thing if they are looking on the eEdge site, we can see, if they may have viewed any properties or if they favorited them. You won't be able to see what properties they viewed or favorited unless you have the Pro account, but you can at least get an idea if they are actively looking. You can see how they became a contact on here. All right, when they were last active, so if I click on this, for instance, I can see I last sent an email to this contact on 5/14, and the contact last opened an email from me on 7/21. All right, same thing down over here for Zoran. I can see I last contacted him 5/14. They last opened something from me on June 29th. All right, then you can actually see their status over here as well, or we have a couple additional options we can take a look at too. Now, one thing I want to show you, though, is how to actually add these contacts to group or how to bulk update them. So on the left-hand side of each contact, you're going to have this little checkbox. Now, once you put a check inside that box, you probably noticed this popped up at the very top where we can actually bulk update and print labels. Now, in addition to that, you can also sort the contacts. You can sort them in descending or ascending order, and there's a bunch of different ways you can sort your contacts in your database. All right, you can even filter out your contacts if you're searching for someone in particular or a certain type in particular. All right, but once we actually check any of these, if I click on bulk update, it'll give me the option to either edit the records or send these contacts to the trash. Now, if I send them to the trash, that'll either create their status as trash. They'll still be inside our My Contacts section, but they'll just be listed as trash, so we're not going to be able to send anything out to them. Really can't find them. All right, or we can just permanently delete all these contacts too. Now, I want to focus on edit the records on here. So if I click on edit the records, then I can click continue, for instance. And this is where I can actually update my groups. I can update the campaigns as well. I can update categories, companies, status, or history notes by bulk updating for all these contacts. Now for the groups, obviously I'd want to click the checkbox next to group on here. And as you can see, I can either add to groups, remove from groups, I can even add to campaigns or remove from campaigns as well. So in this case, if I wanted to bulk add to groups, I could add to a particular group or multiple groups just by checking the box right over here next to the group that I want to add them to. And once I do that and I click update now, I'd be good to go and this would automatically update for me. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up on how simple it is to organize your contacts into groups because that's going to help you out tremendously. All right, now one thing to note on here, we are going to move on. All right, but up here, if you ever want to get back to your KW or myKW account, you can always click the KW logo at the top left. All right, under the Find a Contact option, you can actually search for a contact you might be looking for. All right, if you ever click this Home option, this will actually take you to where those My Leads would display. All right, so if you click on My Leads on the eEdge control panel, it'll take you to the Home option, as this is going to be basically your dashboard or home dashboard for the back end of eEdge. All right, now obviously My Contacts will take you to the Contact section. My Marketing would take you either to Listings, so you can actually view your listings or the office listings potentially, all right, or all of your marketing pieces. All right, and then My Email will typically take you to the Messages section. All right, so My Contacts, My Leads, My Marketing, and My Email will all take you to the same back end over here. I always like to reference that because at the end of the day, if you click on My Leads and meant to go to My Email, no worries, it's still going to take you to the same location. Now, if I click on the account option at the top right up here, this is where I can actually update some of my settings in my account so everything will auto-populate properly. Now, the biggest thing that I'd want to focus on once I click on account is my account, that first option under account administration. All right, so these are kind of some of our main settings we can update in order to make sure everything auto-populates for us. All right, so when we're taking a look at this, then we can click the edit option at the top left up here in case we want to go through and edit any of our information that's possible to edit. All right, so as you can see, I clicked on edit, and now all these different white rectangles pop up with basically fields for me to add information inside. Now, with that being said, under the name section, if I want to add inside the name that I want to actually display on here, all right, you're more than welcome to do so. All right, so this is the name that not only would display on your eEdge website, but more importantly, would automatically populate over on your marketing pieces. All right, same thing if you want to add inside a title, or a license number, or your designations. All right, you can even add inside your phone numbers on here, obviously your cell or work phone. Now, for the external email, I always suggest putting inside your business email address because this is one way for Market Leader to get in touch with you in case they need to. But more importantly, once you put inside your external email, on the marketing or apply to email option, you have the option of choosing either the eEdge email, right, or your external email. Now, whenever you send out a marketing piece from the platform, it has to come from that eEdge email, which here it is right up here. All right, but at the end of the day, your external email can actually display at the bottom of your marketing pieces when you're sending out, and whenever someone replies back to it, it could actually go to that email instead. So even though it looks like they're replying back to your eEdge email, it would actually go to your proper one for you. All right, so that's kind of a workaround right now. That's why I suggest putting your business email address in the external one. You obviously can add inside your marketing website, all right, or call to action if you want to. You can add inside your marketing address. Please add inside your office address. Do not add inside your home address. All right, and then you can even put inside that mobile app URL that we saw earlier in that 4.0, 4.5 section. All right, and that'll automatically link up with your mobile app. All right, typically all email pieces now have a little link in the footer that says download my mobile app. All right, and this will automatically sync up with your app URL. Now, anytime you ever make any changes on here and click Save, this will automatically update, so any new templates that are created would automatically have this on there. So I just want to give you that heads up. All right, you could also add inside additional social media URLs to link up on your marketing pieces, or you can add inside your information down here too via headshot or logo. Now, the marketing image is typically going to be a profile picture. This is going to be the profile picture on your eEdge website, so you don't have to add it in if you don't want to. I may suggest just in case someone comes across your eEdge website. All right, and then we also have our marketing logo on here. Now, if you don't happen to have a marketing logo, no worries. You could leave this blank if you want to. All right, you could also add inside a QR code for the app, much like she did on here. All right, or if you want to, you can always put inside your Office KW logo. Do not put inside a generic KW logo because each marketing piece will automatically have a generic KW logo. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. You don't want to have that duplicated. And don't put inside your headshot because then it's going to look like you have two headshots on your marketing pieces. Now, to add this in, it's much like attaching anything to an email or maybe uploading a picture on Facebook. I just click the edit option. Click browse so you can actually browse your desktop, laptop, whatever you might be utilizing to find your headshot. All right, and once we do that, looks like I was updating someone's, oh no, yeah, I know what I was doing earlier with that. I was helping her actually put a headshot in this exact same section. All right, then you can click on your headshot, wherever it might be, and click the upload option to upload that immediately. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. All right, and remember, all this is under the account, my account option down here. All right, now I'm going to go through the marketing pieces very quickly just so I can give you guys an idea as to how to access everything. But I'm going to start back from the myKW homepage so you know how to access my marketing from here. So in order to access your marketing pieces on the myKW homepage, all you have to do is click the plus sign of My Marketing. And remember, we have Create Marketing Materials or Manage and Create Campaigns. Let me just show you where you can find all of them. So if you click on Create Marketing Materials, this is where you can actually go through and view the Marketing Center. All right, it's going to pop up in a second, but the Marketing Center is a culmination of all of your marketing pieces and templates that are available for you to utilize. So as you can see, keep in touch with customizable marketing templates and campaigns. Now on the left-hand side, we have our marketing category. So we can actually see the monthly newsletter, which is a newsletter sent out by Market Leader each month. All right, and this will actually automatically update each month for you. This is the one campaign that never ends. All right, we also happen to have our campaigns, so you can actually view any campaigns you may have created. You can view any designs you may have created as well, any images you may have uploaded, or any mailing lists you may have added into in case you want to do print mailouts. Now in the design library section, this is where you can actually view all of your campaign templates. So if you ever want to send out any type of email or print campaigns, this is where you can view all the templates. You can view all your email and video marketing pieces or any of your print marketing pieces. Now in the print marketing section, you can actually order printing if you want to, or you can actually just create a print marketing piece and then download it as a PDF if you want to basically print it off yourself from your own computer to save some money. All right, so that is just the Marketing Center in a nutshell. Now under Marketing up here, we have the Marketing Center, but then we also happen to have where we can manage and create our campaigns, the second option down. Now this is where you can actually view all of your campaigns that are currently active, paused, or even completed. All right, so in this case, it looks like she has technically 2 active campaigns, but only one that's actually sending anything out. All right, because everyone's going to have an active monthly newsletter. That's the one I was telling you about that will automatically update each month. But if you don't have any contacts on it, you won't have to worry about it at all. So even though it says active, it's not sending anything out. Now you can actually view if you have any campaigns set up. You can view how many contacts are on there. You can view how many groups you've added over the campaigns. And the cool part about adding a group now is once you add that group, anytime that you ever add a contact, like say a brand new contact tomorrow over to the same group, it'll automatically add them to that campaign too, as long as it fits the criteria. All right, so maybe we set up an email campaign and we add inside a 12 direct group. And then tomorrow we add inside a brand new contact, put them on the 12 direct group, and when we add that contact, they have an email address, it would automatically add them to this campaign. All right, then you can view how many steps are in your campaign, how many email steps, print mail steps, or activities of what you need to do. Whenever the campaign ends, you can actually add them to another active campaign or another paused campaign. All right, and then you can even view the performance of your campaign to make sure you're getting the most out of it as well. Now you can send out 5,000 emails a month, and you can have 15,000 contacts in your database. All right, so keep that in mind whenever you're sending out campaigns. 5,000 emails a month. All right, and of course you can always click the Add New Campaign option up here at the top right in order to add a brand new campaign. I'm just going to show you where you can access this, because then you can go through and click the Choose This Template option to access any of the different campaigns. Now, a brief overview of the campaigns, because these are some of the campaign names that I said you should add in as groups. The 12 direct campaign is typically 12 contacts the entire year. All right, so that's usually one contact approximately every 30 days or once a month. All right, the 8x8 campaigns are 8 contacts in 8 weeks. All right, or basically one contact per week for about 2 months straight. All right, the 33 touch is what I like to call the bread and butter of Keller Williams. It's 33 contacts the entire year. It starts in April, though, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. So we'll be coming full circle. We'll have to restart it very soon. All right, so that's 33 contacts the entire year. Now, as long as these email campaigns or just campaigns in general do not have direct mail outs, so in this case you can see direct mail step 0, then it's completely free. All right, if you're ever sending a direct mail out campaign, not only would you have to have the contact's, obviously, address to send out to them, but it would cost you a little bit of money, because obviously you have to pay for it to be printed, you have to pay for postage, all the normal stuff that you would do with a direct mail out campaign. Now you can also search for different campaigns up here by their schedule, by the collection, basically different groups, or by the campaign title. Or if you want to, you can actually create a brand new custom campaign and start from scratch on an interval or date campaign. An interval campaign means you're going to know the interval between each campaign piece. So basically how many days between each campaign piece. And the date campaign means you're going to know the exact date each piece is going to come out on. All right, so date campaigns, if you're ever doing anything for the holidays, only use a date campaign. I can say that, very validly, only use the date campaign. All right, so to skip over this, the next thing I want to show you guys is the Manage Design section, that last option under Marketing. This is where you can actually view all of your different marketing pieces you've created previously. So if you ever save any marketing pieces, you can come back and re-access them 24/7. And if you want to update any of them and kind of duplicate them, whenever you save it again, you could actually save it under a different name and it would save your updated information. All right, so this is just basically all the different designs that she's created over the years, or at least that she's saved. But then we also happen to have our design library. Now this is where we can actually view all the different pieces that are currently available for us. Now if we see anything under design library that says postcards, flyers, anything like that, that means it's going to be a print-only item. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. It's going to be a print-only item. All right, so in this case, you can order printing, or you can obviously download it as a PDF as well. All right, just to give you a heads up. Now, in addition to that, we also happen to have the email section on here, and that means you can send out any type of email that you want to. Remember, up to 5,000 emails a month, though. Now, you can also search for keywords on here if you know what you're looking for. If you just want to send out like a just listed, just sold, open house, or just a different, listing piece, you can click on the listing enabled option. It'll only show you different listing items that are available for you. All right, you can see email and video marketing only, postcard marketing, flyer marketing, greeting cards, or even guides. Now, if you're looking for listing and buyer presentations, those will be under the guides section. I just want to give you a heads up on that. Now, if you ever click on any of these, all right, then it'll actually give you a little bit of a preview as to what the piece is going to look like. This info will automatically populate with your information under that account, my account section that we were talking about earlier. All right, so if you wanted to, you could always compose the email and just send this out immediately if everything is already set to auto-populate for you. Or if you want to tweak this further, you can always click on personalize to update it too. All right, so I just want to give you guys a heads up on that where you can find everything. All right, so that is going to be it for our myKW Academy, just kind of 101 overview fast-paced class.